Welcome to Bible Bites. I'm Pastor Dan, and we are reading through the Bible one small bite at a time. Today we are in Matthew 8, picking up in verse 1. When he, meaning Jesus, came down from the mountain, great crowds followed him. If you were to look back in Matthew 5, which we covered, you can watch those videos, what we read is that Jesus saw the crowds and went up the mountain, and it says that his disciples came to him. We do not know exactly why Jesus went up the mountain. The text does not make it clear. It could be that Jesus wanted to be heard, so he needed to go to a higher elevation kind of to broadcast his voice. Or maybe he was trying to actually get away from the crowd a little bit to allow his disciples some time with him. Again, text doesn't make it clear, but those would be two solid guesses. Having come down from the mountain, it says great crowds followed him. So the crowds were still there. And we see all this teaching from Jesus in Matthew 5, 6, and 7. And now Jesus is coming down from the mountain after this time of teaching. It says, and behold, a leper came to Jesus and knelt before him. A leper is someone with a skin disease. Skin diseases in those days were very serious things. And I don't even know if today we have a cure for the actual leprosy, which is one of various probably skin diseases that existed. But if you had leprosy, it was a death sentence, generally speaking. You know, some people did, of course, overcome it, but or get through it or were healed from it. But most people would die. It wasn't like today with modern medicine. Plus, they didn't have the kind of cleanliness or the sanitization, the understanding of germs, and so forth that we have today. So to have leprosy was a death sentence. Again, generally speaking. So the leper kneels before Jesus, showing an act of submission, like you would bow before someone. And he says, Lord. That word means master. If you will, you can make me clean. So he's saying, if you're willing, I know that you can make me clean. And Jesus stretched out his hand and touched him, saying, I will, or like I am willing, be clean. Okay, so Jesus stretched out his hand and touched him. Why would Matthew say that? Like, is that even important? It is, because who would go near a leper, let alone touch him? They understood that leprosy, these skin diseases were contagious. And again, it was often a death sentence to have it. And some of these skin diseases were no walk in the park. They literally would eat you away. And it was horrible. You would be disfigured. So Jesus brings a great amount of dignity, I think shows incredible love and a lack of fear when he touches the leper. This should ring some bells today as we go through COVID. People are deathly afraid of COVID. Don't get near anyone that has COVID. Stay away, protect yourself, isolate, all these things. And not necessarily that any of those things are bad, but Jesus had compassion. He loved and he did not fear. Okay? And then it says, immediately his leprosy was cleansed. Jesus cured him. Jesus healed him. Jesus said to him, see that you say nothing to anyone. Jesus is not trying to gain popularity. In fact, he's trying to keep a greater crowd from gathering. He's trying to keep from being thronged. He also, he wants to reveal himself, but in God's timing. He wants to reveal who he is in God's timing. But of course, if people saw that he healed a leper, it was just going to create a scene. Jesus wasn't into this popularity contest thing. He wasn't. That wasn't his why he was doing what he did. He says, but go, show yourself to the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded for a proof to them. If you were to look in Leviticus 14, that's an Old Testament book of the Bible, and you will see what a person was to do if they thought they were healed of a skin disease. They were to go before a priest. There was an offering that they were to give, and the priest would be the one to declare them healed or not. So Jesus was telling them, keep the law. Do what the law says. Now, perhaps the priest would have received the knowledge that Jesus had done it. Maybe the man would say, hey, this man healed me. And the priest would know what Jesus had done. Don't know, it doesn't say that for sure, but that certainly could have been the case. But either way, the man was healed, and Jesus told him to go and do what the law said to do, what was appropriate in that day, in that time. So, all right. Next week, or next video, we are going to look at the faith of a Roman soldier. You can see the title here, Faith of a Centurion. So we'll catch you then.